Welcome to another episode of Mindful Vlog Update, I guess. So today my goodness, I'm gonna have to capture this because if today is like the second day that it started to snow, and you know when it starts to snow, like the first snow is kind of like a slap in the face, but then it goes into this big, beautiful, fluffy marshmallow pieces of snow, and it comes down almost as if it's in slow motion. It's the most, I almost said the most wonderful time of the year, but that's not really what I mean. It's the most captivating, beautiful sensation. Anyway, I'm always just mesmerized by, and I don't know if you feel the same way. You probably don't. Maybe you do. It's sometimes when snow falls in these big fluffy flakes, it's just, oh my gosh, it's so stunning. Like it always takes my breath away. By far, winter is absolutely my favorite season, by far. And I know most people absolutely love summer, and I have nothing against summer, but when it starts to snow, the smell changes, people's mood changes, the vibe changes completely, and it's just, everything just becomes quiet and still and beautiful, and you're sort of reminded of, like, you know, the capacity that human beings have. I don't know how I can get to, from big flaky snow, I don't know how I get to this deep, but anyway, that's just how my mind works. So today I thought that we would actually chat for just a couple of minutes. I wanted to really talk to you guys about procrastination and the dangers of procrastination. And at first, when you hear the word procrastination, most people think like, oh, you're putting off going to the gym, you're putting off, you know, like the things that really scare us ultimately, right? Like most people think when you say procrastination, you're thinking, like I immediately think you're probably lazy, or you're putting something off because it's too painful to deal with it in the moment. So I'm going to reframe this just like a little bit, see if you guys relate to it, and then attach it to money. Because sometimes I used to look at procrastination like I would be super hard on myself on the things that I would decide on, and if I couldn't, like, and I mean, I'm basically like the poster child for like setting super high and unachievable expectations to myself, not to others, but to myself. I would always be super hard on myself. And then when I couldn't achieve them, I would like just kind of look at myself like how, like I would kind of like dissect of how I failed. And so I've changed that since. And so when it comes to money, especially, I would find myself like totally over micromanaging, and I don't know if you guys relate to this, but I would find myself over micromanaging every single transaction. And if it wasn't for like the betterment of whatever, then I would really be super harsh on myself. So I learned to just simply give up on the desires that I had, instead of pursuing them and finding a balance and finding a way to really be able to purchase the things that I want, because I would understand also that long term that would actually have a really positive effect. Since learning about energy work, and since learning about the law of attraction and how energetically we are so deeply connected, and the things that are around us immediately and in a direct way impacts how we function, I have really reshaped and changed the way that I'm kind of looking at managing my own finances. But I'm catching myself right now just procrastinating. And so this weekend, I absolutely caught myself doing just that. And I sort of had that internal dialogue with myself of just really inquiring why. Why did I feel like I needed to put off a purchase that I actually had the funds for? Why did I have to put it off for so long if I know it's good for me? You know, not only that is good for me, but it allows me to function at a much more optimal way, like at a much higher frequency. Why am I delaying it? And the answer was truly, I was waiting for approval. And maybe you relate to that too. Maybe you relate to waiting for some external force that would say, you're ready, buy it, you're worthy, it's okay, you'll make more. Fill in the blank on any of those things. And I have to ask for permission. Permission was a big one for me. And it's not that I was ever really required to ask for permission, but it really came back down to, I really needed to find a way to justify the things that I was doing, and obviously doing them in a responsible way. But when it comes to money, it's this ongoing healing relationship when we're getting to know each other and we're really building trust within one another of how and why we are buying the things and selling the things, and how we are really managing that relationship. And when it comes right down to it, and the more I'm kind of looking into this, the more I'm really learning that what it really comes down to is creating healthy boundaries, making mindful choices where you're fully connected the entire time, whether you're purchasing for business, for pleasure, for personal, for necessity, you fill in the blank, but they're all important. So just because you cut out one category, like you cut out fun or you cut out joy out of your purchases, does not mean that it's not going to bite you in the butt later, because it absolutely will. That's sort of where we're at right now, where I was finding myself just delaying purchases that would actually set things up for me in my workspace in a way that I could function at a higher state. I can function more optimally. I can draw inspiration from it. And so I invite you to kind of take a look at what are you delaying? Whose permission do you need? And why do you feel that you need that? Versus making your own decisions. And I'm not talking about, impulse purchases. I'm talking about something that you're waiting for permission to purchase, even though you have the money for it, but you're waiting for permission to purchase it because you don't feel worthy. Why am I telling you this? I'm telling you this because maybe you will take some time, maybe this week, maybe next week, maybe before Black Friday, maybe before you jump into the big sales, but maybe you will take some time and really reflect and see in what ways have you really created a really unhealthy connection with your finances. And not only that, but were those decisions your own decisions, or did you alter what you do and how you do them because of someone else in your life, or because of someone else that have conditioned you to think that way? And I think that that's important to kind of reflect on it, because sometimes we hold belief systems that are not really our own, and the only way for us to figure out if they are our own or not, or if it's still true or not, or if that's still our truth, is by challenging them. And sometimes it's really nice to challenge those belief systems, because then you find who you are today versus assuming that you're the same person that you were in the past, because we constantly change and evolve. So that's all I wanted to really share, that just really challenge yourself and see if you're delaying creating a space where you feel lit up because you're waiting for permission for someone to be in the mood, for you to be in the right mood, for you to give yourself permission to really create the life that you want for yourself. Because ultimately that's what it comes down to, is you giving yourself permission to live in alignment with your highest truth. You living in alignment with what lights you up. And that doesn't necessarily mean that you go and have really crazy impulse purchases, but it definitely involves you creating more mindful choices when it comes to managing your finances, when it comes to managing abundance, when it comes to managing your mindset, and having a really healthy relationship with your money in a way that it lights you up and in a way that is healthy and it creates balance in your life. So that's all I have for you. I would love to know, here's your question of the day. I would love to know from you, what is one decision that you have procrastinated on making because you were waiting on someone else to give you permission for? It doesn't have to be money related, but I would love to know. So comment below, let me know, and I will see you guys again next week. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, you can give it a thumbs up. You can subscribe to the channel if you have not yet already. And I will see you guys again in my next one. Bye.